Hey, we're trying something new. A podcast called Thanks for Being a Part of the Conversation. A part of the conversation that you don't get to fall witness to is my love for this forest in South Charlotte, North Carolina. In the 1990s, I was The Poet in the Forest. It was a children's series that I penned out. None of it would be possible if it wasn't for this forest where I presently stand right here in Charlotte. I talk about it and write about it so much that I thought it was time that you get to be a part of what has been inspiring me since 1992. Hey, thanks for being a part of the conversation. We're back in the forest. I'm extremely guilty of this thing we're going to talk about today, and so are millions, if not billions, of others. Tree stumps. You know, those moments where something had to be taken down or the wind took it down, and all that remains is a tree stump. What's so fascinating about a tree stump, especially the ones I'm going to talk about today, is that they don't instantly deteriorate. They serve as a reminder of there was something that was once here. There was something here that provided for you. One such tree stump was a crab tree. It was with me for several years. And being uneducated like I usually am when it comes to trees, because all I want to do is just plant trees on this beautiful lay of land, is that crab trees require a certain amount of sunlight, and they don't need umbrellas above them, nor do they need certain pines around them because they'll steal from the nutrients of the soil. But I had to have this particular crab tree. And the way it came into my life was because we had a big storm here in this forest that took down multiple trees. My passion for these trees is like a father loving their child. And when we lost all of those trees, I went onto Facebook, I talked about it, and I allowed the world to know how broken my heart was that I lost these trees that I cherished so much. So people started sending me their trees. They started sending me seedlings, and the crab tree was definitely one of them. And man, could it ever provide the most amazingly tart crab apples. And all I have today is this stump. Now, I could go in, I could dig it out, or I could shave it clear down to the ground. But no, there's hope in my heart, thinking that it's going to resprout. It's going to have limbs that are going to pop up. On the other side of the forest, opposite side of the crab tree, is another tree stump. I'm standing beside it right now. It stretched way up high in the sky, and it served as a ladder for raccoons. The raccoons would get into my house. I would pay several $1,000s to have the raccoons removed. Yeah, I love my forest that much, but when you start losing that much, you have to rethink the plan. And so the people that took care of the raccoons said, you got to get rid of that tree. So I said, cut it down, but leave the stump, because I believe the tree will come back to being green. And I'm standing beside it right now. And you should see all the itty-bitty branches that are now growing. I've made an agreement with this tree stump. I will let you survive. I will not shave you down to the ground, but I'm going to have to keep you pruned. And me pruning trees, oh my God, it took years for me to realize you have to do that. In fact, it was a preacher that said that, because we had to prune our own personal lives. So when you learn how to prune a tree, you learn how to take better care of yourself. But this tree stump has so much green on it right now. I keep waiting for the crabapple tree to get some green as well. And how about this pine over here, this white pine? It was one of the first 1,700 that was put into this forest in 1997. Once again, my uneducated way, the umbrella above from the other trees and their limbs, it wasn't getting enough sunlight. And white pines, they need a lot of sun. But I've got the stump, and the stump reminds me every day that I was once part of your life. So maybe that's the lesson that we need to learn here, is that instead of ignoring the stumps that are left in the ground, even in a natural forest, at a forest preserve, in a park, because they'll do that in a park. They'll shave it down, and everything that was once there in a city park is gone forever. But yet your imagination says, wasn't there a tree there at one point in time? Don't remove the stump. Share the story. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation.